Hello, and welcome to the broadcast. Another Monday here, Nothing Beast here with you. Hanging out, playing some video games, and just really enjoying life. Hope you're all having a great day. Hello to Danger Ranger 90, who gave a howdy. Our signs is not nice to point. Well, take that, ass. I've got all the fans here. Fantastic. Hope everybody's doing having a great time. Had a great weekend. I do apologize if anybody came by for a Friday show. I got my second paycheck, and I decided to celebrate the new job by taking the wife out to dinner for the first time in like ever. We went to an Italian restaurant where they actually sit you down. The waitress takes you to a place. They take your order. They leave. And when they come back, they have food. I didn't realize how much I had missed that, you know? Most times, drive through, go talk to the clown's head, and then they hand your food through a window and you drive away. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. I didn't realize that, yeah, exactly. I didn't know they did that. Yeah, I know. Novel concept. See, what happened was when I first started my job, I thought that I got in like the middle of a pay period, so I only got half a paycheck. So I only got paid for for 1 week of shifts, and I was waiting for my full paycheck to go out. And what happened was Friday afternoon. My second check comes through, and I'm just like, oh, they pay on a weekly basis. Okay, so I'm not going to have like a 2-week pay period come through all at once. It's just every week. I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, then there's no reason waiting for a full paycheck because I just got one. So I was like, okay, let's just go out to dinner. So we had this local Italian restaurant that I've been wanting to try for a while. And we went there. And it was lovely. I got myself a cocktail to go along with the thing. I'm not much of a wine drinker, but I have just discovered that I am a Moscato fan. So next time I go to an Italian restaurant, I know what to order. Most wines I'm just not a big fan of. I like the lighter, sweet sort of wines and everything, and a Moscato okay, so what happened was we had dinner, and when we were done, I was like, I don't want to go back home just yet. So we went to the marina, and we walked around for a while, and it was really nice, but it's cold, it's chilly here, so we're wearing our jackets, and we're very well nicely dressed and everything, so we're just walking around, and it's just burning off some calories. And when we got done, I happened to pass by the liquor store that's right next to the grocery store, and I'm just like, oh, let's take a look. So we got some booze. And, yeah, so we got a couple of bottles of wine. One of them, I was like, I can't remember the last time that we bought wine, and I can't remember what it was. I remember the brand, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. So, fortunately, the liquor store was running a special. If you could mix and match any of them and it's like a couple dollars off per bottle, or it's full priced for a single. So I was like, well, I'll get the one that I think is what I had. And then my wife picked one out, and boy, they're both great. They're both awesome. We also got introduced, well, my wife introduced me to the Australian version of like Red's Apple Ale. Which I used to love Red's Apple Ale. I liked almost everything that Red's put out. My favorite, though, was the blueberry. Yeah, you know, I was so full of food, I just didn't want any dessert. And it was too cold for a gelato. But yeah, so we got a couple of wines and Red's Apple Ale, but my favorite of Red's was the blueberry. Oh my God, that was such a good drink. But they don't have Red's here in Australia. As far as I know, they don't. I've never seen it in the liquor stores. So basically, I found the Australian equivalent to Red's Apple Ale, and it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough. I'm not a beer drinker, and Reds is like the closest thing to beer that I can tolerate, and I really like it. Yeah, so yeah, it's really not that appley. It's got kind of a cider aftertaste, but it kind of has like that. It's like it's like it sat next. It's like you took an apple cider and you sat it next to a beer, and it kind of picked up some of the beer essence. And I'm okay with that because I've never drank a beer that I liked. I just don't like it. But yeah, Zima. Good God, there's a reference. 1992 called it once it's Nirvana back. But honestly, my favorite bottled drink was Smirnoff Ice. That used to be my favorite, and they have it here, but it's not. I don't know. It's not. I don't like it as much as I did like when I was in college. Yeah, I know, and that's the thing that I hate is when people get all snobby when it comes to alcohol, and they want to shame you for drinking what you like, and I'm like, fuck you! I will drink what I fucking want. So my absolute actually my favorite thing was there was a summertime, and I don't know if they still do it, but years before I left the States, they had like this 4th of July special Smirnoff Ice, and it was colored blue, but it was like red, white, and blue on the label, and it tasted like a bomb pop. And oh my God, it was so good. Like a bomb pop that has melted, and that's what it tasted like. But with like the Smirnoff alcohol flavoring behind it. Oh my God, it was so good. Yeah. Oh yeah. I bought it one year and I couldn't believe it. But it was it only came out like at 4th of July. Maybe they've changed that. But I've been out of the country for 3 years now, so they may have changed that. But I wish I could get that here. But I think that's too American to get here. So yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get that one. So anyway, so we bought a bunch of booze. We got some Italian food and everything, and it was a nice evening. And then I came home and lapsed into a what was it? A carbohydrate coma. And then I had the weekend. So yeah. So that was right, yeah. The Smirnoff Red, White, and Blue. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But the bottle itself, it was the booze itself was like this very light blue. Yeah, it was delicious, but it just tasted like a bomb pop, and I loved that. But yeah, I hate anybody who tries to shame you because you drink what you like. It's like if you want nasty fermented wheat tea, that's what beer is. You know, call it that. Next time someone shames you for drinking something that isn't a beer, it's like, yeah, well, at least what I'm drinking is going to get me drunk. What's your wheat tea doing to you? That's what it is. It's wheat tea. It's barley tea. Yeah, that's right. They also did do it on the Memorial Day. So what would happen is after the holiday, there would sometimes be a discount. So I would pick up as much of it as I could and just stockpile it into my, vintage. So anyway, I don't know if I've ever had Everclear. But that anything berry flavored, I'm usually all about. Alrighty, well, let's get to the broadcast here while we're talking about our alcohol, because I can operate heavy machinery while I'm talking about alcohol. Okay, so everything is good to go. My employee has been trained. Let's see. I know. It's like people just want to gang up on you and they want to make you feel like shit for just enjoying what you like. And it's like, I like what I like. It's like, and I don't like beer. I don't mind whiskey. I like me a glass of bourbon, with the single ice cube in it and just kind of sipping whiskey, sipping bourbon. I like that. And then meanwhile, they're all like, I'm clanging down beers all night. And I'm like, yeah, and in one drink, I'll be as drunk as you after a 6-pack. It's like you handle your 2.3. I'll be over here with my 9. Exactly. I'm not trying to get blitz drunk. I just want a nice little buzz, a little head swim. That's what I call it. A little head swim. See, I like whiskey and a little bit of scotch. Mostly whiskeys, mostly bourbons is what I go for. But if I'm going for mixed drinks, I am a gin aficionado. I make myself a killer Tom Collins. Yeah. Just a little bit to make things just a little fuzzy and a little loose. That's good enough for me. I used to get, I never really was one to get completely shit-faced blitz drunk. I never was that, but I have been a couple of times. I don't like it. I don't like it. One time I got so sick drunk on my own, I thought that I needed to go to the hospital. And I was by myself. And I was like, I was getting kind of scared at that point. I was super drunk. It was not a good scene. Another time I got drunk at a friend's house and my brother was there and he videotaped it. And that was basically the last time I ever got really drunk. Like so drunk that I don't remember anything. I saw that video and I was like, that is fucking humiliating. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm like, so I'm just gonna have, you know, like when me and my wife go to like the when we would go to like the family get-togethers like for holidays and everything, I would usually bring like a 6-pack of Smirnoff. And we would usually bring a couple of bottles back home. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, when people have you tell you how you got home and acted. Right, exactly. See, they can tell you how you acted, but when I saw the video of how I acted, I'm just like, oh, I'm done with this. I don't like that at all. I'm like, I was mortified by that. I begged my brother to delete that. I was like, just get rid of that. It's like, you've done your thing. You've proved your point. It doesn't need to exist anymore. Erase it. You'll never see me act like that again. And it was funny because I've only ever gotten drunk like that maybe a handful of times in my entire life. I've just never been one for alcohol, but you know, a glass of wine here and there, a bottle of, you know, Smirnoff or whatever, pretty good stuff. Just a little bit. All right, so let's get to Orchard, Adams Apple Company. Here at Adams Apple Company, we feel that the cold filtered genuine draft brewing process is the right way and the right way to treat our apples. Yeah, the game's not listening at all. Okay, so we got a couple of really high dollar. We got the Hilltop House. Yeah. Well, here's how I feel about swearing. I think swearing should be used to emphasize, but never to be like to take the place of regular vocabulary. Like, you know, but I don't trust people who don't swear. You know, have you ever been around those people who like never swear? I don't know. They feel so phony. You know what I mean? I just, you know, I had a coworker. I used to work in radio, and I had a coworker who was basically, if you've ever seen The Office, he basically was the living personification of Andy Bernard. That was my coworker. You know, the roo-doo-doo-doo-doo. He did that shit. Like, I think he watched Andy Bernard and was like, that's who I want to be, and became him. But he never swore. He didn't like it when he didn't even like it when you started flirting with, you know, slight swear words like damn and hell and you know, if you ever said shit, whoa! And I'm just like, oh, for Christ's sake. I don't trust people like that. But I mean, like, yeah, anyway. Okay, so I'm going to give my employee the big job because that is it's a big job, and she needs to get the training. And I'm going to take the Hilltop House. This can be a tricky one. I've done this one before, the Hilltop House, mostly because it's a very fancy, rich house, and there's a lot of stuff to drive around. So they're recommending 122. I'm doing a 130 just to get the job done faster. I mean, and here's the thing: cussing, as long as it's not like a super amount, you know, there's a point when it becomes kind of crass. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes when people cuss too much, I always think, okay, well, you obviously didn't have the right word for that, but still. I mean, I swear, I try to keep it, you know, like when I'm exclaiming. Right? Yeah, exactly. Like teenagers who haven't gotten the nerve to start smoking to show how adult they are. Teenagers walking around the mall saying, "Poontang!" And it's like, yeah, I know you still don't have your pubes yet. All right, we got 30 minutes to do this one. It's a 99.9. That is a gorgeous yard. I love those trees. This is such a fancy house, and I hate them. All right, let's go pick up. Oh, there's one right there. Oh, I forgot about this alley. This alley is a pain in the ass. La la la, we have 5 objects to pick up, and I would think that I'd run into another one by now. Oh wait, is there something all the way over there? Oh, wait, there's something? Yeah, there is. I think somebody lost a newspaper? A newspaper. Oh sure, mine does that too. But I had to curb a lot of that when I started working in radio. Because, yeah, the FCC will drop the bomb on you. And then you're not allowed to be on the radio anymore. So, I was very cautious. Oh yeah, when you're working retail and anything with customer relations, yeah, you got to be real careful with that. All right, 6.5 is the height. There we go. Camera there. Yeah, you just mouth the words. It's like you're all silent, but underneath the mask is like. Hi, how can I help you today? Oh, let me get that for you. Nothing would make me happier than to get that for you today. Hang on one second. Let me go get to my manager. Oh my God. That's too funny. Swear to God, the next stupid son of a bitch who comes in the store, I'm gonna kick him right in the ass. Hello! Hi, how are you today? What can I do for you today? How can I make your shopping trip that much more special? And hey, have a Walmart-tastic day. I couldn't handle retail. I couldn't handle retail. I have nothing but respect for people who can work retail and keep that smile on their face all day. I don't know if I can handle it. I hate people too much. I mean, plenty of people are just fine, but in all fairness, there's so many of them that suck. And there's so many of them that think that because you work at the store, you're just there to carry their piss bucket. And I'm like, no. I'm not one for carrying. Yeah, exactly. They walk out, kiss my ass, you dirty motherfucker. Yeah. You have a good one. I hope you die in a car crash and your family has to identify your charred remains. Bye! Oh, it's too good. That's too good. It kind of reminds me of the that Saturday Night Live bit when it was David Spade when they were working at the airline. Bye-bye. Saying snide comments to everybody as they leave the plane. But they work for the airline so they can get away with it. Up, hit the house. Hit the house again. Hit the house again. My God, I'm not doing a great job here. Hit the house again. Oh yeah, stocking's a pretty good job to have if it's after hours. I had a maintenance job. I used to work at Walmart. It was overnight. They had a store that closed at 9 o'clock, and I was the overnight part of the overnight cleaning crew. And I never had to deal with customers at all. And I was like, that's the closest I've ever come to working retail. And that was enough for me. Oh man, I hated that company. Still to this day hate their guts. 3:30 to 4. Yeah, and there's nothing worse than the customers who don't realize just because you work there doesn't mean you're there to help. You're there trying to stock the shelves, and then they want you to just take off and help them find something. And it's like, I don't know where that's at. That's not my department. Right. I'm a big fan of working on my own. Just let me do my job. Honestly, my biggest reason I like working singularly is because if there's a mistake that's made, you know whose fault it is. It's not one of those, well, we got to get to the bottom of who screwed this up. And then everyone's like, am I going to get in trouble for this? And it's like, no, I should get in trouble for it if it's my fault. But if it's someone else's fault, I'll be damned if I'm going to sit there and take it. But if I'm working by myself, yes, please, tell me I screwed up. Otherwise, I may be making mistakes that I'm not aware that I am. But if I make a mistake that's really bad, I don't want anyone to get in trouble for me. I probably shouldn't have done that. But yeah, the job that I'm working right now is, some days I'm working with another employee, other days I'm on my own. I like the days that I'm on my own, but some of my coworkers I'm starting to meet and, learn and interact with, and they're not that bad. Oops, that was a long message. Let me read that one. Corporate bully crap, they aren't concerned that we are understaffed, yet they never miss a chance to bitch at myself. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, and that's the other thing, is sometimes I've had managers like that, and I wouldn't let them get away with that. And be like, yeah, I'm sure my septum ring would be a problem if we were fully staffed, but we're not, so, pick and choose your battles. I'd probably smart off about that and be like, go ahead and fire me. You're already understaffed, and you don't have anyone who wants to work this job. It's like, see, and I'm the smart ass who would be sitting there being like, yeah, I know you got a problem with my ring. You know what I have a problem with? You can't hire people to staff this job. That's what I have a problem with. So obviously we're on two different wavelengths. So why don't you go do your job and hire people? I'll go back and do my job. And when we get a full staff, I'll consider taking out my nose ring. Until then, I'm not out of compliance with the dress code. And if you talk to me one more time, my next visit will be with the lawyer for a discrimination lawsuit. I had a boss try to do that. Yeah. And what'll happen is when that raise is coming up, something will happen, and well, we just can't afford it. It's not in the budget this year. Really? We're all understaffed. You can't find the budget? We're not paying we're not paying a full staff of employees. Where's the money going, asshole? Yeah, they never seem to answer that, you know. Nobody wants to work. Really? Then how come all the fucking CEOs are getting golden parachute bailouts? How come their profits are through the fucking roof? Oh, you have a union. Good for you. Okay, that makes the difference in the world right there. When you got a union back in your ass. I'm 100% union. I've never been a part of one, and I have been screwed so many times. I wish I had somebody who was looking out for us. So, okay, that makes me feel a little better about your situation. But, yeah, I'll tell you my story where I almost slapped a discrimination lawsuit against my bosses. Nice. Well, I mean, depending on where you're at before that raise, it could be nice, but just knowing that there's going to be extra money makes a big difference. So anyway, when I was working in radio, I'll tell you where I basically threatened and they backed the hell off. I've got. I'll go ahead and pause it. I mean, as you can see, I've got an eyebrow ring. I've had that for a long time. This chin fuzz that I have, I used to let it grow out to the point that I could braid it. You know, I used to be able to have like a full fistful and it would still poke out the bottom. But I worked in radio. Yeah. But that was, you know, that was my whole thing is, you know, I work in radio. And the dress code was, they wanted button-up shirt or a polo. Color and everything didn't really matter. And then they wanted khakis, not blue jeans. And I say that because that's very important to the story. So anyway, we get this guy who hires on, and he is the biggest cocknob. You know, I told you that my one coworker where I worked in radio with was Andy Bernard. This other guy was Robert California. Like, exactly Robert California. Radio? Yeah. I worked in radio for about 14 years. No, 14 years I was in. And it was, yeah. No. Todd Packer would have been a step up from the Robert California piece of shit that I had. Anyway, so he comes in. And he sits down in my office, and he starts talking about he wants me to be dressing business casual. And I say, am I out of compliance with the book? And he's like, no, it's just I want business casual. And I say, okay, well, that's not what the handbook says, so I'm not doing that. And he's like, and here's the thing. This guy had been riding my ass for a long time. So what did I do? I turned on the recording devices. He's stupid enough to talk to me like this in a room that's full of recording equipment. Then he's, you know, I lived in Kansas. There was no, I have to inform you that I'm recording you. So I just hit record because I knew he was coming to talk to me about this shit. He had been acting squirrely all day. So I just hit record before he ever sat down. And then he sat down and I was like, okay. So he gets on there and he's all like, I want you to be dressing business casual. And I'm just like, okay, what exactly does that mean? He's like, I want a full button-up shirt. I want slacks, black slacks, and dress shoes. And I'm just like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, he's like, no, but it's going to be some changes that we're going to be doing. And I say, so the handbook says polo, which I'm wearing, and khaki pants, not jeans, which I'm also wearing. And he's like, well, it doesn't matter. It's like he's like, things are going to be changing around here. And I said, have they changed yet? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, when they change, I will too. And he's like, well, that's just not good enough. And I say, why don't you tell me what it is that you have a problem with? And he's like, I don't like your piercings and I don't like your facial hair. And I say, well, too bad, because the handbook says nothing about either one. Well, that's the thing. And I'm just like, I have him on the ropes. And this is at the point in his career. He's been around for a while, and I've basically finished taking his bullshit at face value, basically. So he basically finally says the phrase that I needed to hear. He's like, look, you can either do it right now. Oh, hang on one second. Exactly. That was my point. I said, I'm in radio. He said, I don't care. I want us to look professional. And I say, I look professional. And I finally said, why don't you tell me what the problem is? And he said, the problem is I don't like your piercings. I don't like your facial hair. And I finally say, well, I don't care. Neither one of those things is covered in the handbook. The handbook says a polo shirt or a button-up shirt with a collar and khakis. I'm wearing both. It says nothing about facial hair. It just says that you are required to be clean and not be dirty. And I say, I showered this morning and I shaved. My beard is in compliance. My clothes are in compliance. And he said, well, you can either do it or we can change the handbook and we can force you to do it. And I said, sounds like you got your answer. Why don't you change the handbook and force me to do it? He said, if that's how it's got to be, then that's how it's got to be. And then I looked him dead in the eye and I said, so you're going to go talk to Neil about his blue jeans? Because he's not in compliance with the handbook. He said, don't you worry about anybody else. You just worry about yourself. All on record. So I just, as soon as he walked away, I called the owner of the station and I said, hey, why is he threatening me with going to the changing the rule books and the handbook? And he's like, well, there's nothing we're planning on changing the books. And I'm just like, then why is he doing this? I said, why is he threatening me that either I do this or he will force me into compliance by changing the rule book? And he's like, well, he can't just change the rule book. I'm like, would you mind telling him that? Because I don't really care for him talking to me this way. In fact, I got his ass on recording this entire damn time, and maybe I don't just stop by talking to you, head of the company. Maybe I go somewhere else. Well, we don't need to do that. And I'm just like, then you better take care of this because I ain't real happy about this communication that I've had. Suddenly, my dress code was enough. Strangely enough, I was in compliance all of a sudden. Oh, that dude was nothing but bug up his ass. That dude literally had nothing to do. Wasn't doing the job he was supposed to do, and decided that he was going to get involved with every aspect of the building. I had been working at that job for, no, actually he just went on to other things. The only time that he ever actually shut up was when I blew up in his face, because this dude had me so frazzled. I actually ended up in the hospital because my nerves were so goddamn shot. That's how bad he had me. He would come walking up the hallway towards my office, and I had the windows, because it was an old radio station, and they had the windows up front. He would come walk into my office, my hands would start shaking. That's how fucking frazzled this dude had me. So one day he pushed me way too goddamn far, and I'm gonna pause this because I'm sitting in my, oh, no, it's fine. This is old history, but this is just, so I'm sitting in my office, and he comes in with another one of his bullshit, I don't have any reason to get in your face over this sort of thing, but I'm going to do that. And finally, I snapped. I was like, I don't care about this job anymore. If this is what it's going to be like, I can't take this shit anymore. So I finally looked at him, and I said, you need to get the fuck off of my back right fucking now. I stood up, took 2 steps towards him. He stepped back and fell into a chair. And the rest of this is me leaning over him and literally just screaming, "Get the fuck out of my face. I don't want to hear a fucking word from you. I don't want to hear any goddamn complaint that you have about my job. I have been working at this job 7 years longer than you have been here, and I don't want to hear a goddamn fucking word about it. You say one more goddamn fucking word to me about my job performance, and you and I are gonna have fucking issues. Do you fucking understand me?" This dude is reeling back like a fucking child. He looked like a puppy who had just been beaten with the newspaper. He left, ended his day early. I'm sitting down freaking out because I have just snapped. This guy was supposed, here's what this guy was supposed to be. This guy comes in. He had been working there for about a year and a half as the manager of this station. He was involved in everything. Everything had to be his way, and I just blew up in front of the manager. He just beat a hasty retreat and left. So the next day I come in, I'm freaking out all night long. All I'm telling my wife is, I'm fired. There is no way I go in tomorrow and I have a job at the end of the day. It is just not going to happen. So the manager, so I go in and this asshole doesn't even show up for work that day. And I'm like, so then the next day I come in, I've heard nothing. The owners haven't called me. And that's the chain of command. It was the manager at my station. They answered straight to the owners because the owners were hands-on. So the next day comes in and I'm still not hearing anything. I'm like, something ain't right here. So I call the manager myself, and I basically throw myself under the bus. And I'm just like, look, I need to know, what is this guy's job? And he's like, well, what do you mean? And it's like, well, he's here. What is he supposed to be doing? And he said, well, he's supposed to be helping sales and increase some sales and try to get some new ideas to bring revenue into the building. And I said, he's not the manager? Well, no. Why is he telling everybody that he's the manager? Why is, for the year and a half he's been here, he's been laboring under the impression and letting everybody here know that he's the manager? He has business cards that say he's the manager. Why is he doing that? Well, I don't know. So he has no authority over anybody? No, he's only supposed to be working in the ad department. I'm like, he has been micromanaging every aspect of this building. Well, this is the first I've heard about any of this. I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off. As soon as I got off the phone, I went around and told everybody in the office. We only had like a staff of 5. We were a very small business. So I literally told everybody. About 2 months later, the asshole left on his own accord. Suddenly, now that he ain't the top dog and his secret was out, I was so mad. I was so mad. No, he was actually about, well, see, I'm 6'3". I was taller than him. I would say he would probably be about 5'7", maybe. You know, he wasn't much shorter, but I did stand over him. But I'm not a violent guy. That's the thing. But he pushed me to the breaking point. I literally couldn't take it anymore. But as I told my wife, I was like, you can't tell the boss to go fuck himself and have a job the next day. It don't work like that. Oh my God, I hated him. Hated him so much. I've never hated somebody as much as I hated that piece of shit. Oh my God. So yeah, when he was no longer able to pull off the little con job that he had no interest in continuing his job and went off somewhere else. Last I heard, he was dead. And I don't have any qualms in saying that I'm glad that fucker is in the ground. Because he was literally the type of person who was put on this earth to make everybody else around him miserable. That's what he was. And I know some people are like, oh, well, he couldn't be that bad. You want to know what his favorite story to tell was? The fact that he bought his wife. I wish that I was kidding. His favorite story to tell, because he told it so many times was the fact that he bought his wife. I won't say who it was. I won't say who it was, but he... Right, exactly. He basically loved telling the story about how he bought his wife, and he might have been figuratively, but that's how he put it. He basically bought his wife from a C-list celebrity. And I won't say who that celebrity is, because when I heard that story, I looked it up and I found out, yes, this celebrity was in fact married to this woman whose name we all were told, what her name was. And I looked it up and I was like, yes, she was in fact married to this C-list celebrity. And I was like, oh my God. But I mean, even if that was true, what kind of a slime bag do you have to be to think that that's an appropriate story to tell, let alone tell in a light-hearted manner? And the thing is his wife was a wonderful woman. She was just a delight to be around. She was a lovely person. She actually wanted to do things to help improve people's lives. She ran a yoga studio. I know, Hollywood and yoga. What a surprise. But the fact is where I lived, there weren't a lot of yoga studios. We were in the middle of farm country. But she had a yoga studio, and she, you know, helped people try to get in some better shape. So she was at least trying to be a better person. But that was his favorite story, was to tell people he bought his wife from a celebrity. And I was just like, what a piece of shit. So when I got the news that he was dead, I'm just like, good. And you can think of me whatever you want. This guy was a piece of shit who had no redeeming value. And in fact, I went talking to my dad a while back, and when he found out that this guy I was working with, he's pretty sure that he and my oldest brother were actually friends in high school. And my dad is convinced that this is the guy who stole my dad's Vietnam bayonet that he got back when he got back from that he took with him when he left the war. Which is why I was always curious why this guy was always squirrely around me when he found out who I was, you know, in relation to people who lived around the area. And yeah. My dad was pretty much convinced this is the guy who ended up with his Vietnam bayonet. And I wouldn't be surprised. Right, exactly. So, I mean, it's like this guy had it out for me from the very beginning. But see, the thing is my oldest brother and I were so far, you know, age-wise. My oldest brother basically had been in the military for a couple of years and was honorably discharged before I was ever on this planet. So, you know, it's kind of hard to have a relationship with someone like that when there's such an age gap. Basically, he was old enough to be my dad. I still don't have a relationship with him to this day. We tried, we're just two different generations. But yeah. So, yeah. See, and that's, you just can't trust anybody, unfortunately. You know, you don't show off your good shit. When people come over for a visit, you keep that shit behind locked doors, and you never let them know what you have. But yeah. He was an awful human being, and I honest to God think the world's a better place now that he's in the ground. But oh my God, he just, like I said, he just ruined. Yeah, right, exactly. Because there's always someone eyeing it, trying to figure out how they can end up with it. I mean, I'm nervous enough doing this. But, you know, whatever's up there isn't like the good stuff. Most of that's either stuff that is only has sentimental value, or it's just toys that I've bought recently. And the thing that's so funny is, the thing that I hated the most about that was, because of my efforts, I basically got this guy out of the job. Not one person in that building gave me credit for it. In fact, the gal who was head of sales, she ended up becoming manager, and the very first thing she did was start ousting me from the fucking job. Like, as soon as the guy who was supposed to be on her back was no longer around, now all of a sudden it's time to get me out of the building. And I'm just like, I've been in this job for 14 years. I've had this job longer than any 2 employees combined. Oh, so yeah, she ended up making it miserable, and I'm just like, you know, you're worse than this asshole, because at least he had the decency to be an asshole when you first met him. He didn't pretend to be your friend for 7 years and then just stab you in the back. Yeah, see, when I was a kid, we had, well, here's a great example of how it is in my family. I was always the video gamer. Even before Nintendo was a thing, I was the video game player of the household. So when the Atari video game market crashed, everybody was getting rid of their game consoles. So what did my family do? They knew that my parents knew it was something that I liked, so they went around to all these yard sales, and they just bought up boxes of video game cartridges for the Atari, and they got them for nothing. Because people just were like, well, the game market has crashed, there's no point in having this anymore. But they still worked, they still played great, so I had hundreds of Atari games and consoles. We had like 3 or 4 of them just sitting there waiting to be used. If one broke, we just moved on to the next one, which was in perfectly good shape, because those things had so few moving parts. So what does my second oldest brother do? He takes it all, sells it, so that he can buy parts for his 4-wheelers that none of us were allowed to ride. It's like, okay, none of this was yours. It's like, at least let me ride the 4-wheeler. No, it's not for you. Well, you used my toys to buy it, you piece of shit. I was still mad about that, because that Atari collection right now, because I never threw anything away. If I still had that Atari collection right now, it would be worth, I would say, quite a bit, because there were a lot of rare games. Hell, the E.T. cartridges alone that we had, I had like 3 or 4 E.T. cartridges. Shit, after that damn documentary came out about it being dumped in the landfill, I probably would have been able, the desire to have one would have been even greater. So mad about that. When that one came out, I guarantee you it would have increased the demand. I still wouldn't have gotten rid of it, but you know, those alone would have been something to keep. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I was so mad about. But you know, what do you do? I was a kid. All I could do was tell mom and dad, and they didn't care as long as. All they wanted was quiet when they got home from work. So, I don't want to hear any arguing. All right, fine. Then don't bitch when I start stealing shit. Yeah, that didn't work that way. I actually, it's kind of hard to see, but that red box right there, is a lot of first edition Pokemon cards, like the first run of the Pokemon cards. As far as I know, they are. But yeah, I almost got the entire first run of the Pokemon cards. When it first came out, I was just buying packs. I never played, but I like collecting them. A Game Boy printer, I had one too, yeah. I have a lot of that stuff still left at home. That's still left at, you know, in storage back at home, and I sure hope that whoever's there is taking care of it. Because I was planning on going back and getting... Oh. Well, didn't I? It's there. It's acting like I didn't put my equipment away. There we go. Yeah, actually. Wow, that's pretty cool. Let me switch this over here real quick. I'm gonna actually take this because I got this you know, folder that was specifically for it, and I just started collecting them. I never played the game, but I just started collecting them. Like you know, I've got the foil Charizard, foil Alakazam, several Mewtwo's, Gyarados. I honestly, I've never really looked these up. I feel like these are like the originals. You know, foil Gyarados, Magneton. Some of them are from movies. But yeah. Foil Venusaur, which I love. Venusaur was always my favorite. But I'll try to tilt that down there so you can see the glitter and everything. And then it just went right into the regulars. But yeah, see, that's just the thing. It's like they might be worth something. They might not be worth anything. I don't know. But I never know how to check those things. If it is, let me see. It's got copyright 1995, 96, 98, Nintendo Creatures, Game Freak, 1999 Wizards, 4 of 102, and it's got a star next to it. So I honestly don't know what that means. Is that it? It's not a complete set though. What I did was I skipped over all the cards that I was missing, but yeah, it's as I just got them. And some of them I even have duplicates in the whole thing. So yeah, this one this was one of those things that I thought I might do that. I mean, it's not a complete set of the first run, but some of the cards in here are just the regular playing cards and everything, like of the game. I just saved one of all that stuff, but it was the original one. When you still have like the blue and yellow gems or something. I can't even remember. I never played the game, but it could be. It could very well be. But yeah, it's one of those things that I collected. Hell, there was for a while they were releasing Pokemon coins, and I was trying to collect those because one of the store that I was working at, the Walmart, it had all this stuff that was always going on clearance because we were in the middle of nowhere. So I have boxes of Star Wars Episode 1 figures that I got for $1 a piece. You know, all that stuff. And all that stuff I have, you know, I got a lot of this stuff that's left over because I just didn't have room for it. I brought so many bags when I first flew to Australia, and I just couldn't bring everything with me. And trust me, I had to throw out a lot of stuff because there was so much stuff I could not save. Like all of my VHS cassettes. I hated doing that. Every VHS cassette that I had saved my entire life, I had to throw them all out because they're so heavy. Yeah, see, Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of, where I was at, Yu-Gi-Oh! never caught on. It was always Pokemon. Pokemon was there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was still there. Digimon and all that stuff started coming out. It was always there, but Pokemon was always the top dog. Okay, so we were. Oh, my Xbox just died. Uh-oh. Let me switch that back over there and see. Oh boy. That might be... I might have to do a hard reboot. Hang on just 1 second here. Wow. Yikes. My controller's still trying to find a signal. I don't think my Xbox liked that I was talking about Pokemon. See if I can get this thing to do a hard reboot. Yeah, did it unplug? Oh, it doesn't want to turn on. Hang on 1 second. I gotta check, see if the plug is come undone. Hang on a second. Ah. Oh, there we go. There we go. That was weird. Okay, it's starting back up. Hopefully it's saved when I left, and I can pick right back up where I left off. But since I unplugged it all, now it's going to have to do a full reboot, so it's going to take a little bit. I think one of you asked if I was going to be playing The Evil Dead. I don't know. I've seen some video of it. I don't know. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, I would rather just spend the time playing Dead by Daylight. You know what I mean? I'm a Dead by Daylight player. It's just by the time I start broadcasting, that's when all the other people are broadcasting it, and all the Surviving with Friends teams have jumped up. But I don't know. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to kind of work out the initial stuff. But I never really was a big fan of The Evil Dead. I liked the first movie because of what it is. It's just an underground sort, not an underground movie, but like a, you know. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's I like the original movie because of what it is. It's an independent movie creator who made the movie exactly how he wanted it to be, as ridiculous as that is. The second one I didn't like as much because it was basically just, you know, let's just remake the movie with a more competent budget. And then Army of Darkness, I don't know. I like horror. I'm not as big a fan of horror comedies. And some movies are more comedy than they are horror. And I feel like The Evil Dead kind of slipped past that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Sam Raimi is a great director. I really like his. I like his work. I like what he's done. I still haven't seen Doctor Strange 2. I still haven't seen that yet. But I still haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home. I still haven't. I'm so far behind on my Marvel. I only got like 4 episodes into Moon Knight before I gave up on that. I'm so Marveled out. I'm really kind of tired of the whole Marvel universe thing. But as for The Evil Dead, yeah, I like it just fine. It's just I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, some some horror comedies kind of feel right. Like Slither, I feel like is the best kind of version of that, where it's got the schlock, it's got the sleaze, it's got the actual horror, but it's funny at the same time. It's very hard to walk that line. And yeah, I don't dislike Evil Dead. I like them. I can totally watch them. But there are people who are way bigger fans of that, and the IP being a video game, I think works. I did try watching the series, and I don't know. I only got like 4 episodes into it, and it never fully clicked with me. But I love Ash as a character. I'm blanking on his name right at the moment. Oh, geez. Yeah. Someone help me. Someone help me. Ash. God. Uh, oh, it's gone. It's gone. My brain is so terrible sometimes when the details come up. That's why I try. That's why I Stan versus Evil. I don't know if I've seen Stan versus Evil. No, I haven't seen that one. Well, here's the other thing with the horror comedies. I think things like Shaun of the Dead was a great horror comedy. I think Tucker and Dale versus Evil was a great horror comedy. But most of the time when I'm watching horror, I'm not watching it to laugh. I like full on horror, and it doesn't have to be a gore fest, but I like the horror movies because it's like, you really have to be doing it right for the horror comedy to work out right. And sometimes I feel like Sam Raimi's horror comedy elements, they feel a little try hard sometimes. Some of them are funny, but sometimes I feel like, I don't know. Yeah. But Tucker and Dale, if they made a sequel to Tucker and Dale, I'd be all for that. I love that. And he just hucked himself into the wood chipper. But I think I like that one because I love the premise. The weird guys in the woods, they're not bad, they're just awkward. Okay, all right, we're back up. Let's go back to the broadcast. And it saved exactly where we were at, thank God. Okay, so with the job that I did, I was supposed to get 1,120. I ended up with $8.95. Penalties, I ended up with $34.57, all from collisions. I figured this was a collision-heavy job. But we still made a little bit of extra profit on top of it. And Margot was supposed to get 2,135. She ended up with 1,736, which is just fine. But she also got a round of collisions, 34.57. My God. Wow. But she's doing pretty good. Training and all has done just fine. So that's why I gave her the more expensive one, so that it was a bigger portion of that larger pie. So, all right, and we went up in established rank 4. Very nice. Okay, so we'll do some repair maintenance, full repair. My God, $25.97. How did that thing get so bad? It was such a funny premise because it was like, let's see the crazy rednecks who live in the woods. Let's see the movie from their perspective. And I was like, that's such a brilliant idea. They're not bad guys. It's just weird circumstances. All right. Let's see how bad this thing is. Oh, $50.28. Oh, my God. She's really running those things ragged. Boy, that's weird. There's a delay on the audio on this one. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm going to switch this over, and now that I've kind of gotten this, I'm going to I'm going to restart this. I don't know why I've got a delay like I do. So there we go. I'm gonna restart the program. Trying to see. Leprechaun was okay. Strangely enough, the only one I remember is Leprechaun in Space. That's the only one I seem to remember. I know I watched. Let's see. I know there was the first one with Jennifer Aniston, back when she was still young and hadn't gotten her career figured out yet. Then there was the second one where it was the guy. He was doing the horror tours of like Los Angeles or something, and then the third one was the third one, was that when he was in the hood, or was that number 5? I don't remember, but I know I'm pretty sure number 4 was when he went to space, and yeah, that was a weird series. Drink if you can, drink if you're able. If you're drinking with me, you'll be under the table. Don't know why I remember that shit, but I can't remember actors' names. Number 2 was actually, I remember it being my favorite of the series. I just don't remember the last time I saw him. But Warwick Davis is fantastic. I love Warwick Davis. And I think they're doing a Willow sequel. I don't know if it's going to be a series or what, but I saw some promotional materials. It's still got a delay. Why does it have a delay? That is so weird. I don't know. I'm just going to have to work around it. Yeah. The pawn shop. That was it. He was working what was... I think there was a little bit of both. There was the pawn shop, and then there was like he was driving around a hearse that was like taking people on a tour of L.A. or like the haunted history or something. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen those. Okay, so let's do some training. Let's see. Do we want to do time management? Oh, okay. She can only reach level 3 and advanced driving has already been done. Okay, so we can do time management or vehicle maintenance. Let's do vehicle maintenance because her vehicles are ridiculous. Okay, so we're going to give her... Boy, I hope that sound effects delay is not as bothersome for everyone else. Whoops. Nope. I get the good equipment. Okay, so I'm giving her the expensive one. I really don't want to do Paddock C because that's a long job. So we'll just do this one. Get done with it quicker. I'm still one that's fully in favor of legalization for recreational and medicinal usage. 100%. I'm all for that. But I myself, I've only partaken one time. Is that a word? Partaken? Partook. It's actually a funny story. I really don't know if I should tell it. I'll give a little bit of backstory. My stepdad, his best friend and neighbor, had really bad Parkinson's, and they were trying to figure out how to get that taken care of, and they found out that cannabis oil really helped out with that one. So they ended up having to go to Colorado to get some, because where I lived, it's still not legal. in any way, shape, or form. At least I don't think it is. So they ended up going to go get some, and they found out that it worked great. Really stopped his shakes, and was able to get him back to doing some work and enjoying his retirement. Doing jobs around the house and everything, and it really helped out. So that alone, I'm just like, can we just legalize this shit and stop with the bullshit? Anyway, so because now they knew where to go to get this stuff. My mom was a hippie, and like an original hippie. And now that she knew where she could get a somewhat steady supply, I didn't realize that she had a cabinet. Okay, so skip ahead a little bit of time. I'm at my mom's house for Christmas, and the whole family's there. Everybody's there, and my mom hands me the camera, and she's like, "Can you do picture duty today?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And she was like, "Yeah, just take pictures of everything that's happening. I'm going to pass out the gifts and do all that." Where the hell is... Oh, is that it? There it is. So she hands me the camera, and it's actually a very fancy camera, digital camera. So I'm just running around and taking pictures and snapping photos, getting everything. I'm in the middle of the action. She's got a oh, let's see, we are 5.5, 6.5. So I'm taking pictures. She's got an SD card in the thing, and it's massive. So I'm just snapping photos left and right. I'm just like, if you don't like it, you can delete it. And I'm just taking pictures all over the place. And my brother, my younger brother, he is right there, alongside my mom. And my younger brother is kind of the bohemian, artsy one of the family. He's the wine aficionado, so he takes my mom out to these wine events all the time, and they just go out and get wine drunk, and it's classy drinking is what it is. So my brother and my mom's passing gifts out to all the grandkids and everybody, and we're all just chatting and communicating and having a really lovely time. And my brother trips over his own feet. I catch him, and I'm just like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And he just starts laughing, and I'm just like, "Good God!" I look at my brothers, and I'm just like, "Jesus, I think they've hit the vino a little hard this year, don't you think?" And everyone's just kind of laughing because they know that they're all wine drunk and everything. So my mom starts getting the giggles real bad, and I'm just like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys?" And she's like, "I'll tell you in just a little bit." So the party kind of winds down, and the way I would always be at my mom's house for Christmas is when everybody leaves, I just hang out for another few hours because I'm there more to visit my mom than I am to hang out with my stepsisters and brothers and everything. It's nice that everybody's there, but really I'm just there to visit my mom. And when the party winds down, there's a lot of leftovers, and I help her clean up and kind of help take care of the whole thing. So anyway, everybody starts leaving, and she's all like, "Yeah, so me and your brother are having a good holiday." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I noticed. How many bottles of wine are you in?" And she's like, "We're not drinking wine." And I'm like, "Well, then what the hell?" And she's like, I find out that they've been eating gummies basically the entire afternoon. And I'm just like, "Are you guys serious? What the hell?" So, yeah, exactly. So it's like, for the love of God, it's ridiculous. So my mom looks at me and she's like, "Do you want one?" And I'm just like, I've never done that before. And she's like, "Yeah, that is fine," and everything. So I was like, yeah, sure. What the hell? It's not like I'm driving anywhere. So, yeah. All it did was make me destroy the Chex Mix. That's all it did. So we're all in the basement. We're all high, and we're watching Christmas Vacation, laughing like we've never seen it before, and we've seen it 100 times before. And that was a great Christmas. But yeah, that's literally my only foyer into the world of marijuana. But like I said, I'm totally in favor for it. Legalization. I think I should be able to go into a dispensary and buy it just like I did, you know, all the alcohol that I just purchased on Friday. I don't think that it should be any more difficult than that. Just go in and be like, hey, I'm looking for this. Can you suggest can you suggest something for me? Why, yes, I believe that you would be able to this, whatever. Well, I'm kind of with the groups down here in Australia trying to push for legalization. I find it hilarious that prostitution is legal in a lot of territories, but pot still is not. Yeah. Well, honestly, like I said, my mom's an old hippie. And you know, she knows her stuff from her own youth. Well, no, see, I think what it is it's more that there's a lot more medicinal uses for it than the pharmaceutical companies want. You know, and as long as it's illegal, it's harder to study. But you know, you got the studies that are saying that, you know, it can the cannabis oil can take care of cancer cells, anxiety, and everything. And I'm just like, I guarantee you, you know, the Zoloft and all the antidepressant pharmaceutical companies do not want something that they can compete with, or rather something that they can't compete with, meaning something that people can grow in their own backyards. And honestly, I believe that's still why it's illegal, because of, you know, all the pushback from the lobbyists who are able to buy off all of the fucking politicians and be like, you know, we don't want to lose out on all these sales to something that people can literally grow right alongside their tomato plants. You know, why buy a $30 pill and have to take one a day when I can just, you know, go to a dispensary and, you know, say, hey, I'm feeling kind of blue. What do you got for me that'll kind of, you know, get me out of the doldrums? And I never use that word, doldrums, so I'm very happy that I used it right there. But yeah, I think it's stupid that we, you know, with all the reasoning for why pot should not be legalized, you know, none of those arguments are ever used for the liquor industry. And I'm like, so I can kill my kidneys, I can kill my liver, and I can destroy it, and I can give myself cirrhosis, but I can't eat a gummy that's laced with THC and just chill out for the rest of the fucking weekend, or the rest of the afternoon. It's stupid. Well, but if people are having pot, then that's one more thing that they'll have when they're driving behind the wheel. We already have under the influence laws. So yeah, if someone's driving under the influence, you just include marijuana too. It's real fucking easy. People act like, you know, legalizing it will make it to where everybody's suddenly driving, and I'm just like, dude, they're not doing that now. But yeah, I mean, you know, everybody's like, well, if you're growing it yourself, then, you know, like you said, you can't tax it. And I'm just like, yeah, just like everybody in their fucking microbrewery that they have in their garage. People can make their own fucking beer, they can make their own moonshine. You know, you're not getting taxes on that, so what's the fucking difference? What drives me crazy is there's still people using the old arguments that have been around since the fucking 30s. You know, oh, it's a gateway drug. That's up to the individual's responsibility. You know? Well, someone drinks beer, maybe they might move on to vodka later on. We don't seem to worry about that, do we? Right, exactly. The FDA needs their fucking cut. Right, exactly. All you need is a couple of fucking grow lamps and you can grow that shit year round. Where I'm living in the tropical climate, you know, my tomatoes will still grow in wintertime. So I'm pretty sure if they ever legalize pot, I know what I'm doing. And we're going to have some special fucking brownies. Honestly, though, I say that, but I doubt I would probably be that proactive when it first starts up. I would probably wait for the dispensaries to come out to where I can, you know, talk to somebody about that. Yeah! Let's go to Mars, dude! Well, like I said, the only time that I've ever been high, all I did was just destroy the Chex Mix. I was just laying down on the couch, the bowl was on the floor, and I'm just like, I'm not even hungry, I just want the Chex Mix. Right. I'm still just blown away that it's there. But, you know, the one thing I hate is the hypocrisy with a lot of the people. Like my own stepdad, you know, he's finally come around to it. But before his friend needed that cannabis oil, that THC oil for his Parkinson's, my stepdad was well, it's a gateway drug, you don't need it, it's you know, and he would just rattle off all the same talking points that you've been hearing for years. And I'm like, yeah, it's great that you finally have come around, you know, and you're not buying into the propaganda. But at the same time, you need to take responsibility for standing in the doorway. You know, yeah, it's great that your friend is now able to, you know, partake and use it to heal himself. But at the same time, how many people suffered? How many people suffered because you stood in the doorway because you decided that they didn't need this? You know, well, you didn't know all those people, so you didn't have a emotional reason to get this stuff legalized for your friends. You know, and that's the only time is, you know, and to me that's unfortunately what too many Republicans are all about. If it doesn't affect me, or if I can't imagine it affecting me, it shouldn't exist. You know, and that's what my stepdad was when it came to pot. Until someone he knew needed it, he was 100% against legalization. You know, but it's not the Republicans who are wanting to legalize it. So, you know, it doesn't matter because he'll never vote for Democrat. He's 100% Republican. And I'm like, haven't you, I mean, isn't this worth it? You know, you not having to mule this shit from Colorado in a state where you can go to jail for having it? Yeah, see, and that's just the thing is, you know, until he got this cannabis oil, he had the shakes really, really bad. But you know, he wasn't a drinker, and that's the thing. He wasn't. You know, my stepdad's friend was not an alcoholic, damn fine, upstanding, you know, citizen, and worked his entire goddamn life and retired and still didn't want to stop working. But he couldn't do the work that he needed to do because he just got the shakes so bad. But that helped, and he was able to get back to it, eased a lot of his pain and, you know, his suffering in this whole thing. And I'm just like, now imagine if you hadn't blocked this thing for, you know, 40, 50 years. You know, imagine if this plant got legalized, you know, back in the 80s. You know, we definitely would have had, you know, decades worth of studies that we could use to find out what it's good for, whereas it's still illegal in a lot of places, so a lot of places are having trouble being able to study the damn thing. And then you have the states where it's medicinal-wise, it's okay, but not for recreational purposes. And then you just have every doctor who's just saying, "Ah, yes, I see you have pain in your balls. Let's get you some weed." And then you're like, "Ow, my balls. My balls hurt so bad." Then the doctor gets his kickback. Whereas, can't I just go to the damn dispensary and just buy it myself? I shouldn't need a prescription for it. There was a comedian who was talking about how they wanted pot legalization for no other reason other than the fact that the stoners have to find something else to talk about. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm okay with that reasoning too. She interrupted me during "Ow, my balls," and that is not okay. Hey, Brett, how we doing today? We're talking legalizing pot. Go away, baiting. Oh my God, that movie. That's another movie that's like, I want to laugh, but my God, did that movie call it? I mean, that movie was supposed to take place like 200 years in the future. No, 2020. That thing was a documentary, and we didn't pay attention to it nearly enough. Right. I still, every time I hear electrolytes, all I'm like, it's Brondo. It's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes. But what are electrolytes? Can anybody answer that? It's what plants crave. You want to use water? Like out the toilet? Hang on a second, I gotta pause this. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's mostly an exaggeration, but yeah, there's so many times when, in my youth, that I, you know, my younger years, I would be around people who were, you know, partakers of pot, and that's always what the conversation was. They need to legalize it, man. They need to legalize it. Free Nelson Mandela. I'm like, okay, well, one of those things has already happened, so maybe you should put down the ball. And, yeah, it's like, oh my God, guys, we're having the same conversations every single time we hang out. Can we talk about, like, the movie that we just saw? No, man, because we need to legalize the pot. Okay, I get that, but, oh my God, guys, focus. And I'm just like, I'm too sober for this right now. I'm gonna go find something else to do. Aw, oh, man, Sublime, man. That shit was the bomb diggity, man. Oh, And every single one of them had a poster of oh, god damn it. Every single one of them had a poster of, you know, some reggae artist. Never had a CD of reggae in their entire collection. I'm just like, come on, dude. There was a guy I hung out with in high school. He had the biggest poster of Bob Marley. Like seriously, he had a poster of Bob Marley over his bed. And it was a large photograph of just Bob Marley's face, and he's just taking a drag off of a large you know, joint. The joint, the picture was so big, the joint was that big around. Okay. No reggae in his library. The dude listened to death metal. Like, dude, come on. Who is this for? You're obviously not a Bob Marley fan. You listen to Rob Zombie and Cradle of Filth and Five Finger Death Punch, and you listen to all this shit. It's like, what? Just name 5 Bob Marley songs. Well, I'm dude, just stop, man. You don't have to buy into all of the fucking shit. If you want to smoke pot, that's fine, but you can smoke pot and listen to Cradle of Filth. It's totally fine, if that's what you want to do. It's like one person did it, and then it's like that's how it's got to be for the rest of the damn everything else. And it's like, it doesn't have to be like that. It's Well, R Signs, why are you up so long? Do you have like a long shift at work or something? I mean, I appreciate you hanging out with me, but if you need sleep, you know, don't hold out on my account. Look like a rotten banana. I saw this video. Oh, got up early and got up work late. That sucks. Wow. But well, I'm glad that you're hanging out. I was gonna leave, but I wanted to check this area out. I don't think I've ever explored around this area. I was like, am I gonna find like somebody's porn stash back here? I don't know. It's just some of these areas. Oh, absolutely, R Signs. Well, get yourself some sleep, and we'll probably see you tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'll have a broadcast tomorrow. So, absolutely. Thanks for exactly. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you next time. Get some sleep, and then we'll talk the finer parts of heroin legalization tomorrow. Yeah. Absolutely not. No, I'm. Okay, let's see. We were supposed to get $4.60. We ended up with $4.92. We got $9.75 of penalties. $5 of that was flowers destroyed. Wow. All right, and. Hey, she's almost to that top tier right there. She was supposed to get 1,120. She ended up with 916, so she's getting there. Vehicle is still taking a lot of damage. I don't know why. And we've moved up another rank. Fantastic. Oh, right. I keep forgetting about that damn loan. I gotta pay that damn thing off. Because right now it's just taking money away from me. And I got enough to pay it back. Repay it. Yes, get that damn thing out of here. Yeah. That would be pretty damn cool. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you meant that number. I'd be like, yeah, I'd be happy with that on every single one of my paychecks. Yeah, yeah, that would suck. But yeah, a line item list of everything that I screwed up. All right, let's go in and do some more training. Time management, level 3. Okay. All right, let's do some vehicle maintenance. Just a few dollars for mine, but what did hers end up? Yeah. Oh my God, $56, $19, $7. Ugh, crazy. All right, let's see what kind of jobs do we have. 405, 265, 885, 1,255. All right. So as far as I know, she is fully trained. I think she is. So we're going to give her this job and see how close she can get to the 1,255. I'm expecting her to get at least 1,000 out of this. And they got a couple of paddocks. These ones are going to take a while. Well, might as well do the expensive ones. When we get enough money to buy a new headquarters, we'll be able to get another employee. But it's still going to be a little bit of time. So yeah, looks like we got a few viewers. Hope everybody's having a good time. Well, I don't know. I kind of like the management of the whole thing. You know, you get employees, you raise them up, you try to get them to make as much money for you as possible, and you're just always trying to expand. And I don't know, there's just something very zen, very relaxing about it. I used to play the farming sim, but I don't know. There was a farming sim that I was playing, and it just, it felt like there were too many shortcuts. Like, you didn't feel like you were actually doing any work. It felt like it was very forgiving. Okay, I don't know if I have done this property before. This one... Oh, there's an item. Whoops, missed it. Where'd you go? There you go. Oh, there's something else. Glad I went there, because it was something else in the path. Wait a second. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Sometimes it's just, there's a relaxing element to it. The only thing that I didn't like was it was a little too forgiving at times. Like, I'll explain why. Yeah, red solo cup, my God. See, I worked at a country radio station, and I had to deal with that shit, so no, not fun. The farming simulator that I had, you would you take your tractor out and you would just go. And if your equipment ran out of gas, you could just press a button and you'd magically fill it back up. Like, it wouldn't, there was no penalty, you know? And it just felt a little jarring that, you know, I didn't even have to fill the thing up with the appropriate seed. Like, you didn't have to, it's like, you could just you could just fill the thing up out in the field. You didn't have to take it to the filling station on the farm. And it's like, why is there a filling station and a garage where you can get all your grain and everything and your seed? Why do you have that if you can just push a button and make it happen? You know, stuff like that just didn't set right with me. It's like, don't put it in the game if it has no purpose. If you want it to be a simulation, then make it a simulation. But there was so many shortcuts. It's like they had one where you had multiple tractors going all over the place, and you could just click the right and left buttons on the top of the controller, and you would just magically jump to all of them. And I'm like, okay, I understand they want to make shortcuts to make it a more streamlined procedure, but it just felt like, at what point is this a simulation? None of this is accurate. It just, I don't know. I played one for a while, and I tried playing a recent one, like in the same series, and I just played for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm just like, I remember why there was something about this that didn't set right with me, and I promptly deleted it. But I mean, if other people like it, hey, no problem. I always say things like, you know, with like Minecraft. For me, Minecraft is one of those games that I'm glad it exists. It just isn't for me. I wish it was. There's a lot of fun to be had. It's not for me. But for everybody who enjoys it, I'm glad that it exists, because you know, video games should be for everyone. I'm definitely not a gatekeeper who thinks that, you know, well, I've been playing video games since Atari, and you all need to respect all the trash games that I had to sit through so that you guys could have the games that you have today. I'm not like that at all. I'm just like, I'm thrilled that older people can play. I'm happy that there's games for young people. The only real thing that I don't like about the gaming industry is some of the predatory shit that they pull. You know, like getting a kid to spend thousands of dollars trying to unlock their favorite soccer player. I'm like, shit like that should definitely have some kind of major legal penalty against. But yeah, I mean, Minecraft, I always come back to that as the example. For me, when I was a kid, if I ever had a set of Legos, I always built what the set was. Very rarely did I just build something from my imagination. I never had that kind of an imagination, and I wish I did. But when I played Minecraft, it's like, if the game, I'm one of those persons that, like, if the game tells me what I need to do, great, I'll do it. But if the game requires me to make my own fun, I'm not quite as willing. I'm not that much of an imaginative individual. In fact, when I played Minecraft, I did all of the achievements on the Xbox 360 version. I did all the achievements, and then when the achievements were done, I built a skull fortress, I built a really long railroad, and then I was done. It's like, I see people who can make these giant cathedrals and everything, and I'm like, yeah, I wish I had that kind of imagination, but I don't. But that being said, it's not a reason for me to say I wish this game didn't exist, because that's just silly. I see some people who act like that. It's like, I don't like it, it shouldn't exist. That's never been a philosophy of mine. You know, if you like it and I don't, great, whatever. Don't shit on what I like, though. I'm not going to call you stupid for liking it. It's like, you know, there's enough room for us all. Yeah, survival games and things like that. Some of those have, you know, things that you need to do. Honestly, I like Terraria. I like Terraria a lot better. I actually did a lot more in Terraria. let's, oh, there's a tree. Okay, we'll weed eat around that. Right, exactly. It's like, you know, you don't have to like everything, but if you don't like something, you know, that doesn't make it less valid for anybody else. Like this, you know, this game is a great example of that. When I first saw it, I was like, that is the dumbest thing. Let me play it. And shit, how many nights have I spent broadcasting this, and then other people watch me do it? It's like, hey, whatever. As long as you're having fun and you ain't stepping on anybody else, who cares? That's how I always look at it. I'm a firm believer in that. Okay, we need to be at between 6 and 7 centimeters. Oh, we can do it right at 7, so let's just do it as high as possible. But yeah, I used to kind of be like that, and I was like, why am I arguing over this shit? It doesn't matter. You know? People are... Right. I don't care much for rap myself. Some of it's okay, but most of it I just don't care for. But, you know, if I'm driving, we listen to my music. If you're driving, I'll listen to your music, and I ain't gonna say shit. Unless it's a really ridiculous sounding song, and then I'm gonna be like, dude, what is this? Sometimes, though, my wife will be driving and a song comes on the radio, and I'm just like, do you really want to listen to this song? And she'll be like, no, do you? And I'm just like, no, let's turn the fucking thing off. But yeah, I think too many people just kind of get within their own, you know, safety bubbles, and they're too afraid to get out of it. Absolutely, and you should. You shouldn't have to, you know, sit and listen to a song that you don't like. But again, if you're not the one driving, you know, let somebody else make the decision. You might hear something that you didn't, that you wouldn't have. Like, where I'm at right now, there are not a lot of, there really isn't a great option for rock, you know? Like, I couldn't tell you the last brand new rock song that I heard. They're just, it's all pop, trance. There's a lot of 90s stations. You know, some stations, they play blocks of 90s music, which is nice. I like that. But if it's a brand new rock song, I'm just not going to hear it where I'm at. I have to go to Spotify and hope that I stumble across the right stuff. But sometimes I'll be listening to the pop stations, and a song will come up that at first I'm just like, what the hell is this? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of catchy. Oh, all my windows just capsized. Oh, dang it. Hang on a second, I gotta readjust everything here. Yeah. But see, there are some songs that I do like that are new. You know, but what I used to do was, when I was working in Sydney, I had a good I had about a 20-minute hike to the train, and then I had a 30-minute ride into the city where I was working. So one thing that I would do is on my Spotify, every Monday I would get the new music discovery mix. And what it was like, okay, here we see all the stuff that you've put into, you know, song listings and everything. Here's a list of like 20 songs that we think that you would like. Yeah, I know. I'm having trouble keeping up with you, man. But I would listen to that, and that would be my thing all day Monday. That was my rule. Listen to the new music discovery mix. And almost every single time there would be 1 or 2 songs that I would end up putting into one of my mini mixes, my playlists. You know, I had a rock playlist, a country playlist, pop, one that was just a catch-all for things that didn't make sense anywhere else. And you know, I would hear a lot of great music. Now that I'm not, you know, commuting, I don't really have that time to do that. What's that? What sounds so bad? The new music discovery? I thought it was a great thing. I loved it. It was one of those things that I made it a weekly thing. When I went in on work on Monday, I would listen to it, and I would really give the songs a real honest chance. And it was really nice. I'm just sitting on the train, I'm just hanging on to the handle because all the seats are taken, and I would just listen to my music, and it was really nice. I got introduced to a lot of songs that I would not have heard otherwise. So I really liked it. I don't know if I'm gonna pause that for a second. I don't know if it's because I have so many songs on my lists and everything, but like I said, almost every single week there would be at least 2 songs that I liked well enough that I would actually put onto my lists. There was one time I think I had like 4 or 5 of them on a single list, and then every Monday I'd get a new list of stuff. But I think it did a really good job. Some of the songs I wasn't wild about, but they weren't really bad. Very rarely did I hear a song that was so bad I was like, I can't sit through this, and skip it. A lot of the songs were tolerable. They just weren't something that I was wild about. So I really like that. But right now, I don't really have a commute. So I don't really have that, that moment where I can just plug into the new music and just let it go. Oh God, no. Mine, I don't think they've ever done any Justin Bieber on mine because I don't listen to a lot of pop. That's the thing about the music that I do listen to. There's not a lot of pop, but if it is, it's usually female singers and everything, women singers, and so I don't get a lot of Justin Bieber style music. Thank God. The only time I've ever cared for a Justin Bieber song was when that one person mixed the Baby with Psychosocial from Slipknot. Have you heard that shit? I love that shit. That is so goddamn funny. Because of how well it works. Like the whole thing starts off, dun, dun, oh, 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 I did my time and I won out. So abusive, Faith, it's not the same. And it's so goddamn funny. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Just type in Justin Bieber Psychosocial. It's so goddamn funny. But yeah, I don't like that when I'm in a job site and somebody else decides that they're going to be the one to pick the music. Because they always seem to pick just terrible, family-friendly, non-offensive music, and sometimes I can't work to that. Sometimes I feel like I wish that I was born in the 70s, because of all of the great music I would listen to from that. I was a big fan of Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. But no. I was an '80s kid and a '90s teen, and I'm glad that I had that because I kind of had my own thing. But growing up, I was able to at least, if I didn't care for the music that was going on, I could at the very least jump back to something from the '70s, listen to a little bit of Ozzy. Where I used to live, I had a couple of really good rock stations. One was a classic rock, and they would play stuff from, mostly it was the 70s and the 80s is what they played. But a lot of times, sometimes they would dip into the 60s as well, but it was always rock. It wasn't like, Um, it wasn't like easy pop or anything. But there was that, and then there was the rock station that I listened to that would play a little bit of 90s, a lot of the early 2000s, and a lot of modern stuff. So I at least got a chance to listen to some new stuff through that. But like I said, where I'm living here, I listen to all the different stations, and I just can't find any rock station. Sometimes I'll find one that's playing. Sometimes I'll find one that's playing like some 80s stuff. You know, like a block of 80s or a block of 90s, and I kind of like that. But no real rock outlet. And I kind of miss it. Yeah, and that's the thing that sucks is, and the thing that I hate about these rock stations that play like the classic stuff, like the 70s and 80s and the 90s and everything, they only ever play the hits. You know, it's like, can we get some B-sides? Can we get some, does it always have to be just the hits? Can we get one just once in a while? Can we get a song that wasn't a hit? You know, like. I would love it if the stations that played Ozzy would play Fire in the Sky. That is my absolute favorite Ozzy song. But you'll never hear it on the radio. Such a great song. I mean, they'll always play Crazy Train. They'll always play Paranoid. They'll always play Iron Man. But you'll never hear Perry Mason or Fire in the Sky, and it's disappointing. I'll say this much though: some of the stations that I'm listening to now, when they go into their 80s stuff, boy, they will play some decent David Bowie. I don't know what it is. They love David Bowie here in Australia. So I'll be hearing songs and I'm just like, I never hear this song. I hate this. I'm cutting at the highest possible length, and it's still bogging down the engine once in a while. But yeah, that's another reason why I have Spotify, because I can make the lists myself. I still get introduced to some new songs. I mean, they're new to me. They may not be brand new songs, but they're new to me. And sometimes that's enough. Oh, some of the ones that they play. I mean, naturally they're always going to play Let's Dance, but you'll also get you'll also get Space Oddity. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door. And I'm floating in a most peculiar way. And the stars look very different today. Oh, I love that song. There's another one that they played that I had never heard before because it wasn't playing on like American stations. Rocket Man? No. That's shit. I blanked on his name too. God, my brain is so dead tonight. The Crocodile Rock Man. Yeah, Rocket Man is. Shit, I'm trying to think of how that one starts off. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell, and there's no one there to raise them if you did. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, 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 I'm a rocket man. But yeah, Space Oddity is definitely David Bowie. And then the whole dank-a-dank-a-da, dank-a-dank-a-da, it's a great song. Neil Diamond. No. Rocket Man is goddamn, why can I not think of his damn name? Elton John. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, that's Rocket Man. Elton John. I don't mind me a little Neil Diamond. Actually, what's funny is I'm finding myself I'm getting back into 70s I don't know if you want to call them troubadours or anything. I don't know if that's the appropriate word for them, but people like Gordon Lightfoot. I had never listened to Gordon Lightfoot in my life, and all of a sudden I'm just coming up with all these Gordon Lightfoot songs. Of course, the big one is The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which is a beautiful song. But there's also Sundown, which is a great song. It's one of those songs that you hear it and you just never knew what it was called. It's just that sundown, I think it's a sin when I find me again. I don't know all the words because yeah, Gordon Lightfoot. It's sundown, you better beware if I find that you looking in my back. I don't know enough of the words of it, but I know the melody of it. She been piling and sundown, I think it's a sin when I it's just great song. I wish I knew the words better, but I've only just started getting into that one. But yeah, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. That's such a good song. That one will get in my head. And Right. It's like I want to sing along to them, but I don't know the words well enough. And I hate that sometimes, but, you know, because it's like there's songs that never get played on the radio, but when they come up, I think that would be like 70s AM. Maybe that's the appropriate term for it. You know, you'd be hearing, you know, like Gordon Lightfoot, yeah, Corey Hart. not exactly the direction I'm going, but who was the other one? There's another one, James Taylor. You know, just that really mellow, folksy sort of sound that came out in the 70s. You know, with the James Taylor, oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times where I could not find a friend. but I always thought that I'd see you again. Yeah, just some good stuff. Just some feel-good music. Oh, sure, yeah. But yeah, but that's that type of music, that 70s sound, I'm getting into, because when I usually think of the 70s, I usually think of, you know, like I said, Led Zeppelin, Def Leppard, Ozzy, Black Sabbath, you know, a lot of that stuff, and all that stuff is good, but that's a little more heavier. And it seems like, you know, the older I get, the more I'm appreciating, you know, like Gordon Lightfoot and all that folk song sort of stuff. Well, I worked at a country radio station, so yeah. I like 80s and 90s country. I really like that. You know, a little bit of Randy Travis, some Dwight Yoakam, Alan Jackson. Sometimes, but some of it a little bit, you know, a little pickup. My mom was a really big fan of Ricky Van Shelton, and I gotta say, I like his stuff. I don't know what the hell happened to the guy. It's like he came out, put out a few hits, everybody loved him. He did a duet with Dolly Parton, and then he just disappeared. I like me some Alabama. Oh, of course, I don't know if you've seen it, but in one of my episodes of Sugar Pants Video Basement, I make a reference to Shenandoah. It's oh no. Colt Ford was around when I was working at the radio station. I won't listen to that fucking garbage. Ugh, that hick hop bullshit. Fuck all of that stupidity. You know, as I earlier say, I won't ever say you're stupid for listening to music. No, hip hop country is fucking stupid. If you like it, great. I fucking hated it, and I had to put that shit on the air. Couldn't fucking stand it. And I think, honestly, I think that had a lot to do with it. Maybe the fact that I didn't have a choice. I had to listen to that shit as I was putting it into the radio station, because every week I was in charge of putting music into the system, and I had to flag it so that it had the intro marked and the outro marked and all that stuff. So I had to listen to everything that came through, and oh my god, I didn't get to decide the music. I was just given, here are the songs, here's where you download them, and then this is how this, and just get them put into the system. But yeah, that hip hop bullshit, I can't stand it. Big and Rich was okay at the beginning, but they wore out their welcome really fucking fast. That Chicken with the Train was about the end of it for me. And that was actually the beginning of it all. Yeah, see, I don't even know who you're talking about there. But yeah, what's so funny is I worked at the country radio station, and everybody in my family was always, when they first found out I was working there, they were like, "But you hate country." I'm like, "Yeah, but I like money. I'll take the paycheck, and I'm a good enough actor that I can fake it." But that's not even really true. I like the 80s stuff. Some 90s. Up to about 95, and then I really just, didn't really care for a lot of it. But yeah, I was talking about in my episode of Creature, I made a reference, I don't know if you've seen that episode, in Creature I make reference to the band Shenandoah. And it's one of my favorite jokes. just because of how silly it is. Because the in the movie Creature, the ship that takes the crew to the moon Titan is called the Shenandoah. And I said, here in the gag, it's like, here we meet up with the Shenandoah, a spaceship that's named after the greatest fucking country band of all fucking time, motherfuckers. And then I start singing, if I had 2 dozen roses and an older bottle of wine. But yeah, on Spotify, I've even got me a 80s and 90s country mega mix, and there's a lot of good stuff on there. But I actually do like Shenandoah. Some of their hits, anyway. A little nitty-gritty dirt band. You and me going fishing in the dark, lying on our backs and counting the stars in the cool wind blows. Boy, it's been a while since I've actually heard that one. Down by the river in the full moonlight, we'll be falling in love in the middle of the night, just moving slow. Spend the whole night through. Feels so good to be with you and me, you and me. The little round that they get going on there. I love that stuff. Good stuff. Oh yeah, I'm all about pop country. Good stuff. I like it. Little old school Kenny Rogers. Him and Dolly singing "Islands in the Stream." Right, I can't bait a hook either, but I'm still gonna sing about it. Lazy yellow moon coming up tonight, shining through the trees. Crickets are singing and lightning bugs are floating on the breeze. Baby, get ready. Ooh. It's good stuff. I love it. It's so cheesy. I love it. Honestly, Kenny Loggins was one of those artists that I was like, I should know more songs. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he did that song, and I was like, oh, okay. It's one of those, yeah. I thought it was kind of funny on Archer that he spends, like 4 or 5 seasons. He spends 4 or 5 seasons talking about Danger Zone, and then they get Kenny Loggins to do a special guest appearance on one of the episodes. I think that was Archer Vice, the season when they're kicked out of the espionage game and they have to resort to coke smuggling. What's another one that Loggins did? Because I mean, Danger Zone's the one that everybody knows, but it's like there's others that when they pop up, I'm just like, oh, I didn't know he did that one too. Let's see, what's the time for this one? 31:30. I don't know. It's going to be close. All right, let's see if we can get this done in less than 2 minutes. Yeah, see, and that's how I feel about him. It's like when one comes on, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is a great tune. Wait, that was Kenny Loggins? I didn't know that. Come on, let's get that time bonus. Let's get at least a minute time bonus. Yeah! A minute 13. Oh, and then of course a little bit of Brooks and Dunn. Love me some Neon Moon. But we had this one listener who always wanted to hear My Maria. That was his favorite song. We would do these remote broadcasts, and whenever we went to this one business, one of the managers loved My Maria. So we always made sure that he was listening when I would play that one on the air. So whenever he was nearby and between, tasks, we would always play it and make sure that he could hear the thing. So he was always appreciative of that. Okay, so we got $2.76 worth of collision fines, and that's all we got. But we still ended up with $43 more. Motorboatin'? I don't think that was Brooks and Dunn. I'm not sure what song that is, but if they did, we didn't have it in our catalog. That one doesn't sound very familiar, unless I'm not thinking of something else. Okay, so oh, look at that. Our employee was supposed to get 1,220, ended up with over 1,000. So all right. Only got 276 in penalties and fines. Not too bad. Got a little ground check earnings. All right. Okay. Let's go to our headquarters. Do we have enough to purchase? No. If we wanted to purchase this, we need about 6,000 to be able to buy the next location. Because right now we only have 2 bays and we can't expand anymore, and we have to buy the next one up. So our current headquarters value is $154,530. The next one costs $160,000. So we need about $5,500 to be able to get that. Okay, let's do some vehicle maintenance and see how bad the damage is. 85 cents, $3, 6. We're up to about $7. Almost 9. All right, let's see how horrible this is. Oh my God, she takes such shitty care of this. 54, 21, 6. At almost $2. 54.21. So Jesus Christ, the better part of $100 at least. It's a lot of money she's just leaving. All right, can we do any more training? I can't do any more training. She is as trained up as much as we can. At least for now. I don't know if maybe there's more training that can come out if I get higher level. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what time is it. You know what? I think this might actually be a pretty good stopping point. Yeah, we'll do. I think for the next one, we'll work on getting some pretty big jobs, and hopefully we'll be able to upgrade our um, headquarters so that we can get another bay and possibly get a second employee. So anyway, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, I'm such an alky. Yeah, all right, so that's going to do it. As always, just a quick reminder that my other video channel is still available, Sugar Pants Video Basement. Right now I'm just in between seasons, but season 3 is still on the way. So always got to give a shout out as long as I'm doing some promotions. But be sure to check that out. I actually, over the last couple of days, I've been working on year 3. Year 2 is next year. Year 3, so I'm working way in advance. I've stumbled across some movies that I wanted to do, and I just wanted to make sure that they were available, and I didn't have them available early on, but I found some of them, and I wanted to make sure that I got some of the preliminaries out of the way to make sure that I still had it available when it came time to doing year 3. So because right now my hair is short, as you can see. It's a lot shorter than in the picture over here, and it's hard to do my hair and makeup when my hair is cut short. So I'm waiting for my hair to grow long before I can do some more video footage, and then after that it's just editing and getting them all ready to go, and then year 2 will be finished. But for now, I'm kind of done with all the year 2 scripts, so I'm kind of getting a jump start on year 3. But again, as I always say, this is a project that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm not giving up. Some of my videos, they've only got like 20 hits, and they've been up for a few weeks, and I'm just like, I get it. It takes a while to get going and everything, but at some point I'll get there. But this year, what I kind of made the mistake of 6 weeks on, 7 weeks off, 6 weeks on, 7 weeks off, 6 weeks on, 7 weeks off, and unfortunately the timing is making it a little sporadic, more sporadic than I thought it was going to be. So next year I actually have it every other week. So I wanted to kind of hit the ground running with the first season, but it's a learning process. The more I do, the more I learn and everything. So next year will actually be every other videos, but yeah. Well, see, the whole reason that I try to tell people to check out my videos is you can watch my video in about 20 minutes, whereas it would take 90 minutes to watch the actual thing. So, watch my movie or watch my video review, and then after that, then it's like, oh, well, that looks good. I'm going to watch it for real. Or, oh, I'm glad I didn't actually watch it for real. For me, it's just exposing the actual movie. So that's the whole point of it all. But when you get done with the movie, or when you get done with one of my videos, if you feel like watching the movie, that's kind of the whole point. Kind of a glutton for punishment. Oh, you think you're a glutton for punishment? I actually had to do all of these. I mean, to be honest, and it's not there's no wrong answer here. I won't be mad. How many videos have you actually watched, Danger Ranger? And be honest. Be honest. How many of my movies have you actually, or my videos, have you actually watched? And if you, and don't worry, it's fully one. Okay. Now, there's 24 episodes. I had to sit through all of those movies at least twice, because there's the watching process, and then there's the scripting process, and then sometimes there's a third viewing that has to happen if I didn't get all of my notes. So all of these movies, you've only seen 12 acts that have been released. I've only released 12 of 24 episodes. So you think you're a glutton for punishment. I'm the one who decided to do this. But yeah, I've got 24 episodes. There's still 12 more on the way. Next year's 24 episodes. I'm starting to put together year three's 24 episodes and everything. So yeah, there's a lot of punishment gluttony in this. Some of these movies I get through and I'm just like, oh my God, that is so awful. That is so terrible. Why am I doing this? And at the end of the day, it is fun for me. And that's the whole point. I want to do something that's fun. So anyway, that will do it for tonight. So most likely there'll be some more lawn mowing action tomorrow. Oh yeah, I always try to have blood, bodies, and boobies. Because otherwise, what's the point? You know, what's the point in having trashy horror movies if we're not going to have some skin, some blood, and some violence? So yeah, so tomorrow we'll probably do some more lawn mowing, unless I stumble across another game, because I'm just having so much fun lawn mowing. Nice, a little kapow. So until I greet you all again, y'all have a great rest of the day, and we will catch you. Whoops, I about had the wrong button. There we go. And we will catch you next time.